History often celebrates the name of great leaders, thinkers, and activists, but there are countless whose contributions were overlooked. Throughout history, women have played roles in shaping social, political, and cultural movements, overcoming barriers to effect lasting change and pave the way for future generations. In this speech, I will explore historical movements such as the Civil Rights Movement, the Labor Movement, and the Suffrage Movement. The suffrage movement is one of the most well-known movements. This movement had begun in the United States and the United Kingdom during the mid-19th century. During the 19th century, women began to demand the right to vote, declaring their roles as citizens with a stake in local and national affairs. Leaders like Jane Addams and Susan B. Anthony led the movement, often facing extreme resistance. To raise awareness of their causes, the suffragists employed a number of strategies such as hunger strikes, protests, and marches. The 19th Amendment, which gave women the right to vote, was passed in the United States in 1920 as a result of the work of women like Susan B. Anthony. In 1918, Pankhurst's suffrage campaign helped secure women's suffrage in the United Kingdom. In addition to fighting for political representation, the suffrage movement also aimed to affirm women's equality and agency in society at large. Women also played a big role in the labor movement that sought better working conditions, fair wages, and work rights during the Industrial Revolution. Working-class women, and women in general, were often the backbone of workforce. Yet, they were among the most exploited. Mother Jones, an Irish American labor and community organizer, was one of the many women in the United States who relentlessly fought for their rights of miners and industrial workers, practically women and children who were subjected to hazardous working conditions. She had a key role in planning strikes such as the 1903 Children's Crusade, a march to draw attention to the abuse of child labor. And her efforts raised awareness of the predicament of workers across the country. Women like Clara Lemich, a labor leader, and Rose, a feminist and labor organizer, fought for improved conditions, better wages, and to end child labor. Their efforts helped lay the foundation for labor reforms that would benefit workers across the globe. The civil rights movement in the United States during the 20th century brought to the forefront the roles of women as leaders in the struggle against discrimination and segregation. Rosa Parks, the woman who refused to sit on the back of the bus, refused to give up her seat to a white person. She became the symbol of resistance, which sparked the Montgomery bus boycott and contributed to larger civil rights movements. Other figures, such as Ella Baker and Diane Nash, helped organize marches and sit-ins that challenged racial status. We should recognize these women that worked behind the scenes and helped organize and strategize marches and walk-ins. We should recognize these women that work behind the scenes. They help organize and strategize marches and sit-ins. Women's activism within the civil rights movement demonstrated intersectionality of race and gender, as they fought not just for racial justice, but also for the recognition of women's participation in social change. Another crucial moment in the history of women's activism was the second wave feminist movement, which started in the 1960s and continued in the 1980s. This movement addressed a number of topics, including sexual liberation, job discrimination, and reproductive rights. Also, the battle against gender-based violence. Women who helped popularize feminist beliefs and demand structural change include journalist and social activist Gloria Steinem and Betty Friedman, whose book, The Feminine Mystique, is credited with starting the second wave. Many of the most important social and political movements in the world have been and now are led by women. Women have shown bravery and leadership in the face of hardship throughout history. From the abolition of slavery to fighting for voting rights, labor reforms, civil rights, and gender equality. Women's contributions to these movements have been crucial in furthering the cause of justice and equality. Despite their frequent marginalization in history, it is crucial that we keep honoring and appreciating the contributions women have made to history as we look to the future. Their actions serve as reminders that even in situations when the odds appear to be difficult, change frequently starts with the individuals who are prepared to question the established.